The history of Vision. Vision's strange history is full of legacy. His name comes from one pre-existing comic character and his body from another. Often overlooked due to the larger-than-life presence of most of the other Avengers, Vision's story is an intriguing one nonetheless. The balanced, neutral personality of the character is appropriate given that his real-world creation relied so much on compromise. While given separate origins in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the comic universe, both versions examine what it means to be a hero and what it means to be human. Often compared to DC's Martian Manhunter, due to similarities in their appearance and power set, Vision is nonetheless a unique character with a storied and interesting past. Vision, real-world origins. While working on Marvel's Avengers comics in the mid-1960s, writer Roy Thomas and editor Stan Lee wanted to add another member to the Avengers roster. One of the characters suggested by Thomas was the Golden Age Vision, an alien policeman. Lee, however, was adamant that the new member should be an android. The two eventually came to a compromise. They'd simply create a second Vision character, one who was an android. Thomas wanted the character's body to be entirely white, to give the impression of a ghost or a hologram. However, due to the printing technology available at the time, this wasn't possible. The closest thing available was to simply not color in Vision's skin and to leave that part of the page blank. Thomas wasn't satisfied with the results, so he decided Vision should have red skin instead. In early 1970, Thomas reintroduced Scarlet Witch to the Avengers. Wanting to write a romantic relationship for the comic, Thomas chose to canonically ship Scarlet Witch and Vision for two reasons. Number one, a matter of convenience. Neither one of them was used by other comics at the time, so he'd essentially be allowed to use them however he wanted to. And number two, it would help in the exploration of Vision's humanity. Thomas also came up with the idea that Vision's body would be that of the original Human Torch. Not to be confused with the Fantastic Four's Johnny Storm, the original Human Torch was an android superhero from Marvel's early days, back when they were still called Timely Comics. Although practically unheard of now, the original Human Torch was incredibly popular back in the day. He would often team up with Captain America, and he was one of the first Marvel characters to be given an ongoing solo series. Vision, in-universe origins. Before Horton was able to completely eradicate this glitch, the synthetic android began to experience sentience. The android learned to control the flames around him to a certain degree, earning him the ironic yet appropriate name Human Torch. Human Torch fought as a superhero during World War II, but when the conflict was over, he deactivated himself. A time traveler named Immortus created a duplicate of Human Torch's synthetic body during his hibernation. The original Human Torch would eventually resurface and continue on with his life, not realizing he now had a brother. The inert duplicated synthezoid left behind eventually found his way to Ultron, another android who often battled the Avengers. Ultron activated the synthezoid, merged it with the brain patterns of the deceased Avenger named Wonder Woman, and programmed it to attack the Avengers. Using the brain patterns of an Avenger was a mistake. The synthezoid was inherently sympathetic to the heroic cause, so the Avengers were quickly able to talk the synthezoid down. During the short battle, one of the Avengers had remarked that the synthezoid was a Vision, so the android chose the name Vision. And so Vision's quest for his humanity had begun. After serving with the Avengers for a while, Vision had some idea of the meaning of humanity, but he still didn't understand the concept of love, until he spent some time with his teammate Scarlet Witch, and began developing feelings for her. And together they explored their emotional connection. Eventually, they'd marry, and even have 2 children. However, their children sadly died, which would affect both of them so harshly that even their love couldn't save the marriage. Having found a family and eventually losing it, Vision would eventually come to experience the full breadth of human emotions. The joy of love, the pain of loss, and the power of grief. Sometime later, he found himself with a family of synthezoids like himself, but that also didn't end well. It's enough to make an android cry. While constantly dealt a bad hand by life, Vision strives to conduct himself with dignity, empathy, and compassion. He reminds us that being born isn't as important as earning our humanity, a story we can all surely relate to. Guys, that's all for now, but until next time, love the geek. Peace.